Yes, good evening, good evening. Pooja, good evening. Sorry. I am good, Ravi Kumar. How are you, beta? Yes, so good evening, all of you. So, welcome back. Yeah, so let's move ahead. So, what we are going to do today is I think last class we revised we studied basically relative lowering of vapor pressure, correct? And we had solved one numerical on it. So, what I'm going to do is, yes, Chandan. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take one more problem on relative lowering of vapor pressure. Post that, I'll take two more colligative properties today. Yesterday's notes are, I think, uploaded. I'll check once. Most likely, no, yesterday's notes are uploaded. It will be done today. Right? It will be done today because it has a common topic. It will be finished today. Right. So let's start with a problem on yesterday's topic. It's a recall test for you. It's a recall test for you. I'll just write the formula we had derived. We had derived P naught minus P naught 1 minus P1 by P1 was equal to mole fraction of solute. And this we had assumed was N2 by N1 because N1 was very, very much greater than N2. This is what we had studied, right? So kindly go through it. If you have any doubts, please ask. Anushri, I think there must be some issue with the internet there. Just check once. At my end, I have checked. Everything seems fine. Yes, so it's okay, Rathe beta. It's completely fine. Nothing to worry here. All right. So yes, I hope Ankita you have answered on poll as well. Yes. All right. So let's end this, guys, on account of 3, 2, 1. I see very few of you have voted, guys. Please vote fast. This does not require that much time also, right? It's not that lengthy question. All right. So let's try solving this. Let's try solving this. What is given to you? The concentration given to you is in weight by weight non-volatile solute exhibits. The solution exhibits a pressure of this much. That means this is your not pressure of solvent. It is your pressure of solution. So let us write what is given first. So pressure of solution is P1. How much it is? 1.004 bar. This much is given. Right? Now P01 is not given. Right? P01 is not given. Now see carefully. The solution is aqueous solution. The solution is aqueous solution. And what is the concentration? 2% weight by weight. So 2% weight by weight means what? 2 gram solute in 100 gram solution. 2 gram solute in 100 gram solution, right? You have to find molar mass of the solute. Let me write the formula first. P01 minus P1 by P01 is equal to N2 by N1. N2 can be written as weight of solute by molar mass of solute into into molar mass of solvent by weight of solvent. Right? This is what is given. Now, what we can see over here is, what is our P naught 1? This is the hidden information here. So you see here, it is given that the vapor pressure at the normal boiling point of the solvent. So at the boiling point of the solvent, right? At the boiling point, we'll study today. At boiling point at TB, vapor pressure of the solution becomes equals to 1 atmosphere. That means atmospheric pressure. But I need, so this means this is your pressure of solvent. So how do you define boiling point? It is the temperature at which vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equals to atmospheric pressure. So since it is at boiling point, so vapor pressure of solvent will be equal to atmospheric pressure 1 atm. But we need the pressure in bar. So what is the relationship between atmosphere and bar? So 1 atmosphere is 1.013 bar. Let us say, just check the calculation. Now put the values here. 1.013 minus P1 is given 1.004 by 1.013 is equal to, now come back to this, 2 gram solute is present. That means weight of solute is 2 gram. Correct? So weight of solute is 2 gram. Molar mass of solute you have to calculate. Solvent is your water. Aqueous solution means water is solvent. So what will be your molar mass of solvent? That is 18 gram. What is the weight of solvent? We need to find. So I know here, I've taught this in class also, beginning of the chapter, that 100 gram solution mass is 100 gram. That means weight of solute plus weight of solvent is how much? 100 gram. Weight of solute already is known. It is 2 gram plus weight of solvent. So weight of solvent will be 100 minus 2, that is 98 gram. So weight of solvent you can substitute here, 98 gram. Now you can simplify for molar mass of solute. This will be 36 by 18 into 1.013 into, I guess this will come out to be 0.009. Okay. Now you can simplify this further. Your molar mass will come out to be 41.35 gram. If you simplify this further, your correct answer will come out to be 41.35 gram. And I think many of you have, those who have voted for D. Very few of you have voted D actually. Kindly look at the solution. If you have any doubt in this, please check and let me know. Please check if you have any doubt in this and let me know. I will give you a window of 5 seconds. Please check this. And if you have any doubt in this, please ask. Please check this. And if you have any doubt in this, please ask. Calculation gives B as answer, is it? Are you sure? Let us verify the calculation. It should not actually. Let's see. Then we have done some mistake. Let us see. Just hold your patience, guys. This is 2. What is this? 18. Okay, I have done one mistake here. 1 minute. So this is M2 1.013 36. This 18 will not be here, no? This 18 y I have written here. This 18y should be here. Yes, 18 won't be there. It is 98. Okay. All right. Let's simplify. 36 by 98. No, you are getting 41.3 only, guys. Your calculation has been something wrong. Just check. This will give you the answer as 41. I just calculated it. It is coming out to 41.35 gram only. Kayuri and who else had got wrong answer? Yes, it is correct. Ha, Pranav, that I saw. Just check your answers. It is coming out to be 41.35 only. Just check your answers once. All right. So this is one. Now I have solved the question. Now I'll also standardize and tell you which level question it is. Once we solve the question, we should also say which level question it is. If I have to rate this question, this is a NEET level question. NEET mein it is a, I would say, moderate plus difficult level question. And if it comes in JEE Mains, mein it is a easy plus medium question, right? So it can come in both the exams. CET mein it should not come ideally. If CET mein it comes, it is a hard level question. Okay? So this is the standardization of this question. So when we solve the question, we should also understand what is the level of the question, right? Yeah. So this is done. Yes. So you can see one more question here. Try solving this one. Try solving this one. Try solving this one. Read it out carefully. The vapor pressure of pure benzene at a certain temperature is this much. Pure benzene vapor pressure is given. That means solvent. A non-volatile solute, non-electrolyte solute, solid, weighing 0.5 gram when added to 39 gram benzene. Vapor pressure of the solution is this. What is molar mass of solid substance? This is even easier than that. This is a direct formula substitution. So I hope you will be able to do it faster. This is a direct formula substitution, guys. This is a direct formula substitution question. This is a board level. First we'll solve it, then I'll check the calculation and standardize this. Yes. Since the question is easy, guys, so please solve it faster. It only requires calculation. You have to directly substitute the values in the formula. You just need to substitute the values in the formula. All right. Purvi and Ankita, I got your answers. Aditya has also answered. Aditya M has answered. Gauri also has answered. We'll check this. We'll check this. Right. So guys, let's end this on a count of 3. So please, if you have not voted, vote fast. Until you don't vote, there is no point of sitting in the class and just simply listening to the pravachan given over here. The pravachans are not going to help you in exam. So kindly put efforts, solve fast, get into it, get into the rhythm, get your answers fast, right? So if we see in a class, even if not 30% people is attempting the question, then it's pretty bad. And it's not like some rocket science JEE advanced problem which you don't get. It's a direct formula based problem. Right. So let us end this question on a count of 3. So if you have not voted yet, please vote fast. So we are ending this question on a count of 3, 2, 1. Now, Bhavna will, this is our last question for today. Don't worry. So yes. So this is, let us try to solve this. Vapor pressure of pure benzene at a certain temperature is this. So this is vapor pressure of pure benzene, means solvent. So P01 is how much? 0.850 bar. Non-electrolyte solute weighing this much. This is weight of solute. That means W2, 0.5 gram. Molar mass of solute you have to calculate. When added to 39 gram of benzene, benzene is your solvent. So how much solvent you have taken? 39 gram. Molar mass of benzene is given, that is M1 is given. How much? 78 gram per mole, right? Now vapor pressure of this solution is this much. That means P1 is 0.845 bar. Then finished. Everything is given. Apply the formula. P01 minus P1 by P01 is equals to N2 by N1. And we know N2 by N1 is W2 by M2 into M1 by W1. Substitute the values. P01 is 0.850 by 0.845 divided by 0.850 is equal to weight of solute is 0.5. Molar mass of solute you have to calculate. And yes, molar mass of solvent is given 78 gram. This is 39 gram. You can simplify the value of M2 from here. Your M2 after calculation will come out to be 170 gram per mole. So your correct answer is A, which many of you have got it correct. Your answer will come out to be approximately 170 gram per mole. And I think majority of you have got A only, but still there are people who have got B and C. I hope this is clear. Is this clear, guys? So the relative lowering of vapor pressure concept is clear, everyone, right? So the concept of relative lowering of vapor pressure is clear, right? So if it is clear, then we'll move ahead with the next concept. That is the homework problems. This will be uploaded today. You can practice the homework problems, right? Yes, so our next concept is, guys, next colligative property. Tarun, check again. Tarun, check your calculation again. You'll get 170 only. There must be some error you might have done. Okay? Right. So guys, we are starting with elevation in boiling point. All right, Ravikiran, I'll do that. Ravikiran, I'll do that. First, let us finish this. That derivation is not that important. I will do that, but don't worry. For now, let us move to the next colligative property. I'll do that. Let me move to the next colligative property. So guys, I told you there are 4 colligative properties. Our current status is we have finished one colligative property, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure is done. Now we are moving towards our next colligative property, that is elevation in boiling point. Before I go to elevation in boiling point, let me define boiling point over here. So what boiling point? Boiling point, boiling basically is a temperature at which vapor pressure of becomes equal to atmospheric pressure. That means 180. Right? If at a particular boiling a liquid at a particular temperature, pressure of the vapors of the liquid becomes equals to atmospheric pressure, then you say it is boiling point of the liquid. That temperature is called boiling point of the liquid. Now, what we have shown over here is the pressure of the air acting on this container is your P external, right? And in the open atmosphere, the P external will be what? P ATM, atmospheric pressure. And this container will also exert some pressure. Vapors of this container will also exert some pressure, that is P internal. And that is what? Vapor pressure of liquid. So this liquid will exert what pressure? Vapor pressure. So the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid will become equal to atmospheric pressure is called boiling point. Or you can say P internal becomes equals to P external. Correct? So I'll repeat again. What is boiling point? Boiling point is the temperature at which vapors of the liquid will exert a pressure equal to 1 atm. If the vapors of the liquid are exerting a pressure of 1 atm, then you'll say that temperature is called boiling point of the liquid. I hope the definition is clear. I hope the definition is clear, right? This is what is represented over here, guys. As you increase temperature, obviously, if I'm, Arey Sakshi beta, 3 times I repeated. I said the same statement 3 times. What is your doubt, Sakshi? Tell me that. I'll repeat that only. Because if I have to repeat, I'll repeat the same sentence. Then again, there is no point. What is your doubt? What you have not understood in the definition? What is in there in the definition? I am saying you are heating a beaker, may water. When you heat water in a beaker, vapors will be formed. Vapors will exert some pressure. So when the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equals to the pressure exerted by atmosphere, how much pressure atmosphere exert? 1 atm. So when vapor pressure of the liquid or vapor pressure of the vapors coming out of the liquid becomes equals to 1 atm, then that temperature is called boiling point. Or in short, the temperature at which, yes, you can take a screenshot. The temperature at which vapors of the liquid will exert a pressure of 1 atm is called boiling point, in short. Is this clear now, Sakshi? The temperature, when you heat a liquid, it will exert vapor pressure, right? Then at a particular temperature, it will exert how much vapor pressure? 1 atm. That temperature is called vapor pressure. That is what we have shown over here also. You can see here, as you increase temperature, your vapor pressure will increase. Obviously, if I'm heating a liquid, it will form vapors easily. And when it forms vapor easily, it will exert more vapor pressure. So as you increase temperature, vapor pressure from 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin will increase slowly. At a particular temperature, the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equals to 760 mm. 760 mm is also called 1 atm, 1 atmosphere. So this temperature at which vapor pressure of the liquid is 1 atm is called boiling point. Is it clear, guys? Is the definition clear now? Yes? All right. Chalo, let's move ahead. Now what we are saying here, at the boiling point of any liquid, yes, Shreyas, you are right. Hurry, Anushri beta, what is this? I repeated it 2 times anyways. Then I repeated it for Sakshi. Then I explained it from graph also. Then again you are asking the definition of boiling point. Can you please tell me what is your doubt in definition of boiling point? Because I have repeated it 4 times. If I repeat it 5th time, I want to know what is your doubt. Because I'll say the same statement again, you'll not understand. Yes, 100 degrees Celsius because it is water, Kiran. Water ka boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. Of the graph. What is the problem in the graph? You are increasing temperature. Vapor pressure of liquid is increasing. At a particular temperature, vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equals to 1 atm or 760 mm. So the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid is 1 atm is called boiling point. So what is the boiling point here? 373 Kelvin. Why? Because at this temperature, vapor pressure of liquid is 1 atm. That's all. What else? Hey, this is not Boyle's law. Shut up. This is not Boyle's law. Do not put whatever comes to your head. How is it Boyle's law, man? Can you please explain how is it Boyle's law? Boyle's law, temperature is constant. Here you're changing the temperature. Wow. Eh? Kiran? Yes, Anushri, is it clear now? Anushri, it is the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid will become equal to what value? 1 atm. So the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid becomes equals to 1 atm, that temperature is called boiling point. Is it clear? All right. Why is it not a straight line graph? Beta, Ravi Kiran, these graphs are not, see, this is not mathematics. That first you see the function and then plot its graph by putting the values. Y is equals to log x. Put the value of x. Okay, y value is this. Put the value of x, then y is this. Then plot the graph. It is not like that. First, we change the temperature. Then we observe vapor pressure experimentally. Whatever comes the graph, it's an experimental graph. It's not a theoretical graph. It's an experimental graph. Right? It's an experimental graph. Another thing you should observe here is, if you recall, we had derived this log P was equals to delta H by RT plus log A, right? I think this was the equation. Sign I'm not sure about. This was from Venn hoff equation. Now you can see here, P is equals to, you can write it in terms of constant. When you write log, you'll get log as a power of 10 or as a power of E. If you take ln, then you'll get power of 10. So power of 10 will be what? Exponential graph, na? Yes. क्या नाम है इसका? Ravikiran, if you plot a graph of y is equals to 10 to power x, how it will be? This graph will be linear, kya? Ravikiran, will this graph be linear? If you want mathematical explanation, then I can give you. But to be honest, if you ask me, sir, why it is, I would say, beta, it is experimental. I can explain it theoretically. I have no problem in doing that. But in reality, it's an experimental graph. Okay? When raise in vapor pressure, then raise in vapor pressure is directly proportional to delta T. Yes, correct. You are 100% right, Abhishek. Minus delta is tha kya? I was not sure about sign. That's why I did not. It was minus delta H. Chalo. I can see everybody's message. Pritish, I can't see every message. For different liquids, yes, it will change. Boiling point for different liquid will be different. Yes, Shreyas, you are right. But we are talking about the normal conditions. You see, we are defining it normal boiling point, right? That is the reason your water, if it is boiling here at some temperature, at higher altitudes, it might not boil at the same temperature. It will require different temperature to boil. So therefore, boiling point is dependent upon your atmospheric pressure. Somewhere atmospheric pressure may be 1 atm, somewhere less than 1 atm, somewhere greater than 1 atm. So accordingly, your boiling point will change. Okay? What is P equal to? Very good, Vinayak. Beta, P is equals to pressure. P is equals to pressure. Is it clear now? Athar, after so many days. Athar, beta, I have already said it in class. 1 atm is 760 mm of Hg. I have already told you. Why do you need the value of P? It's a variable, no? You are plotting P versus T. Why do you need the value of P, man? If temperature is not given, how can you find the value of P? P is not constant, no? Why it will have a value? P is pressure, it can have any value. NTP and STP. Aishwarya, this is not the time to discuss this now. You can call me, I'll discuss that at that time. This is not the right platform to answer this. Okay? Because it's a specific doubt. If you have a specific doubt, you can message us, we'll clear it. Right. Now, the definition of boiling point is important. Remember this. Definition of boiling point is very important. You'll get it in your board exams also. Okay? Most likely 1 mark. But sometimes it comes as a part of 5 mark also. Right. Now, the elevation in boiling point. What do we mean by elevation in boiling point? All of you, please pay attention. All of you, please pay attention. I am taking you to my relative lowering of vapor pressure concept. Okay? Let me draw some diagrams here. So I'm taking you to the slide where we had discussed. This is our liquid. This is your solvent. When you add some non-volatile solute to the solvent, right? We had studied that vapor pressure of solvent was P01, right? When you added, this is, let's say now it is a solution. So let's say in a solution it is P1. And if it is only solvent, then it is P01. What was more, P1 or P01? Which is more, vapor pressure of solvent or solution? Assuming this is your non-volatile solute. This is non-volatile solute. This is non-volatile solute. Which one is more, P1 or P01? So P01 is greater than P1. So that means when you add some non-volatile solute to the solvent, the vapor pressure of solvent decreases. We had discussed it yesterday, correct? We had discussed it yesterday. So see carefully, if vapor pressure decreases, what will happen to its boiling point? It will increase or decrease? If vapor pressure decreases, boiling point will increase, right? Vapor pressure is always inversely proportional to boiling point. So boiling point will increase. That's why we are studying elevation in boiling point. So if you take a solvent, add a non-volatile solute to the solvent. If solvent was boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, then after adding non-volatile, if solvent was boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, let's say water was your solvent, it is boiling at 100 degrees Celsius. You add some non-volatile solute to it. When you add non-volatile solute to it, then the boiling point will be greater than 100, 110, 120 something, right? It will definitely increase. Keep this thing in your mind. If I want, I can make a very easy question, picture based, diagram based, all those things, student doing an experiment, this happened, that happened, all those type of questions can be asked. So therefore keep your concepts very clear. So vapor pressure decreases, therefore boiling point of solution will be greater than boiling point of solvent. Now we are going to do one more thing. We are going to use this graph only, guys. Vapor pressure versus temperature. So now all of you know what I have done here is I have this, right? Let me choose the color coding accordingly. Yeah. So this is your solution. So solution is given blue color, and this is your solvent. Solvent is given a red color, right? All of you please pay attention. All of you please pay attention. Now see our graphs. Graph is utmost important. I'll tell you, students ignore it a lot. Especially in 2018 JEE advanced question, you'll go and see there was a very good question on graph. Please do not ignore graph. Graph is very important, right? So see carefully. First, what I did, I took this solvent, I started heating it. When I started heating it, its vapor pressure will continuously increase. So temperature increases, vapor pressure increases. So I got this graph for the solvent. For the solvent. Now, I did the same thing. I started heating it, started measuring its vapor pressure with the temperature. So as temperature increases, vapor pressure of solution also increases. But see carefully. Vapor pressure of solution is lying below solvent. That means P1 here is less than P01, right? P1 is here, P01 is here, P1 is here. That means vapor pressure of solution is less than vapor pressure of solvent. Why is it so? We have already taken here. Vapor pressure of solution is less than vapor pressure of solvent. Therefore, the graph of solution will come below the graph of solvent, right? They will go almost parallel to each other. Okay, almost. So graph of solvent will be above graph of solution. Now let us apply our logics. What does our logic says? Our logic says, guys, that this is the 1 atmosphere pressure. This is our 1 atmosphere pressure. So for solvent, the vapor pressure becomes 1 atmosphere at what temperature? This temperature. Let's say T naught B. T naught B is boiling point of solvent. So at this temperature, vapor pressure of solvent becomes equals to 1 atm. So this is the definition of boiling point. So this is boiling point of solvent T naught B. Then do the same thing. Vapor pressure of solution becomes equals to 1 atm at this temperature. So this is your boiling point of solution TB. This is your boiling point of solvent T naught B. So we know left to right temperature is increasing. So you see TB is greater than T naught B. So here boiling point was this. Now boiling point has increased to this value, right? Now this difference is represented as delta TB. This difference is represented as delta TB. Athar beta, you were absent last class, it seems. Athar beta, you were absent last class, it seems. So please do not please watch the videos and come. Right? Otherwise, if I answer the things which is from the last class, then I cannot teach today's class. Right? Yes, Sakshi, you're right. So I will answer this doubt now, but the problem will be I can't answer the doubt from the previous class, right? The reason for that is I give beginning mein, you take 5 minutes, clear all your previous class doubts, and then we should move, because I can't be changing, no? This is the doubt, this is the doubt, previous class, now class, previous class, now class. We can't do that. We cannot finish syllabus like that. So P1 is vapor pressure of solution. P01 is vapor pressure of solvent. Right? I hope it is clear now. I hope it is clear now. Come on, Ganesh, beta. What are you saying? Ganesh, vapor pressure of solution is less than solvent, na? So if vapor pressure of solution at any temperature you take, let's say this temperature, vapor pressure of solution is less than vapor pressure of solvent. So vapor pressure of solution is less than vapor pressure of solvent. So graph of solution will be lying lower than solvent. Right? Correct? Beta, point here is you are not using brains. You need to use brains. You are just listening to my statements. You are not thinking. Right? You have to think parallelly. Just don't listen to the statement. Think parallelly. Okay? Now, let me repeat the graph. Right? Let me repeat the graph. So what I said here was, when you increase the temperature, vapor pressure of solvent increases. There is no doubt about it. Solution will also increase. I said graph of solution will lie below solvent. Why? Because take any temperature. Let's say this temperature. Vapor pressure of solvent should be greater than solution. P1, P01. So graph is lying below, solution graph lies below solvent because P1 is less than P01. Therefore, its graph lies below solvent. Vapor pressure of solution is less than vapor pressure of solvent. This represents vapor pressure of solution. This represents vapor pressure of solvent. Solution is less than solvent, so it should lie below. Let's say if it lies here, solution, take the temperature. This is your P1. This is your P01. Then your theory will be wrong. P1 is not less than P01 in this case. So therefore, your graph of solution should be below solvent, right? Your graph of solution should be below solvent, right? Now, what I'm saying here is that boiling point. What is boiling point? Please keep in your mind definition. I'm repeating the definition, then I'll go to the graph. Boiling point is the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid will become equal to 1 atm for any liquid. Okay? Now, here I see here for solvent, vapor pressure of solvent is 1 atm at what temperature? At this temperature. So this is boiling point. So boiling point of what? Solvent. Same thing I tried for solution. Solution vapor pressure is 1 atm at this temperature. What is this temperature? This is the temperature at which vapor pressure of solution is 1 atm. So what should I say this? This is boiling point of what? Solution. What was this? Boiling point of what? Solvent. Now you see solvent boiling point was here. Solution is here. You can see boiling point is increasing. How much is the increase? We represent it by delta TB. So boiling point change or increase is delta TB. What is your delta TB? Final boiling point, that is TB minus initial boiling point, that is T naught B. I hope it is clear. Please check this carefully. Please check this carefully. Yes, Dhanush, you are right. Shashwat, I did not understand your point. How do I separate both means what? Are you asking about physical separation or what? We get it from pressure inversely proportional to Pratiksha, you get that. Correct. But Pratiksha, you need to know the graph. If there is a question from graph, you'll be gone. If there's a question from graph, you'll be gone. Yes. So Sanjana, I hope it is clear now. KV Chetan, I hope it is clear now. Right? So delta TB is TB. That means, let me write here because after some time, somebody is going to ask, sir, what is TB? So boiling point of solution. What is T naught B? Boiling point of solvent. Also is greater than T naught B. Boiling point of solution greater than. Anushri beta, can you tell me, is there any topic which I have taught without questions? Have I finished it? Did I say I have finished it today? Then why are you asking about question? If I have not finished the topic, how can I do the questions? Have this basic patience. Wait, I will discuss it. Right, now let's move ahead. Let's move ahead to our next graph. Next graph is again very important. Next graph is again very important. So all of you, please pay attention to it. I'm drawing the graph here. I'm drawing the graph here. See carefully, right? Beta, yes, Ravi Kiran, this is basic may we have studied, right? Basically, I have said here, Ravi Kiran, why are you asking things which I have already said? See here, I have clearly said here, non-volatile solute. Still, you're asking same thing. Pritish, I'll explain the significance of delta TB later. Delta TB, to be honest, does not have any significance, right? Sakshi, I did not understand your statement only. It is very confusing statement. Increase in boiling point is called, yes, Shreya, it is called elevation in boiling point. Since the boiling point is increasing, therefore we are saying elevation in boiling point. So what is our colligative property? Delta TB is your colligative property, right? Right. Now, what I can see here is, please pay attention. So this is my graph, right? Now what I'm saying here is, let us now change the concentration of solution. Okay, again, it is very, very important, right? Dhanush beta, yes, you are right. But to answer your doubt, I have to come back to this slide when I'm explaining the next graph, which I have already explained beta. It is non-volatile solute added to a solvent. You're still asking the same thing. Again, I have to come back. Then I cannot finish your syllabus beta. You write JEE 2022, right? That would be better. Lucky year. JEE and NEET will be lucky in 2022. Please write that year. You're asking something which is already explained. If we don't add non-volatile solute to it, then it is only solvent. If you add volatile solute to it, it will follow Raoult's law. Then we follow Raoult's law. Then boiling point might get increased also. Okay? Beta, if you want to confirm, you can take a screenshot and go to the previous slide. When you are asking me doubt, I will clear your doubt. I can't move without clearing your doubt. And if I have to clear it out, I have to go back to the previous slide. When I do that, it takes at least 2 minutes of the class. And we know every minute of this class is very, very important, right? I hope you understand that. KV Chetan, I don't know whether the solution is acidic or not. That depends upon your solute. Your solute is acidic or basic. That depends upon that. Right? Now, what I said was, see, pay attention carefully. Huh? Pay attention carefully. I'm taking following solution. This is my solution 1 containing solvent. Containing solvent. It contains non-volatile solute. Let us say molality of this solution is M1. Now, in second case, this is a solution. It contains these many non-volatile solute, M2. Now take another one. This is your third solution. It contains your molality M3. Correct? Take screenshot, beta. Shashwat, I have done this left and right 3-4 times. You could have taken screenshot that time also. Right? See, I'm a person with lot of patience, but patience has some limit. Right? That's what I can say. Patience does have some limit. It's not elastic, which will never break. Even elastic have a maximum limit. Right? All right. So what I said here was that there is a 3 solutions with molality M1, M2, and M3. Can anybody tell me which is having more molality? M1. Can anybody tell me which is having more molality? M1, M2, or M3? M3. Everybody understand that? That M1 is less than M2 is less than M3. Correct? When I say my molality of solution is increasing, that means my non-volatile solute is increasing. And if my non-volatile solute is increasing, will my solution be able to form vapor easily? No. So your non-volatile solute decrease the vapor pressure. So if this is the vapor pressure of the solution P1, this is P2, this is P3. What will be the order of P1, P2, P3? P1 is greater than P2 greater than P3. When you add more non-volatile solute to it, it will not be able to form vapors easily. So its vapor pressure will be least. It cannot form vapor easily. So vapor pressure is least, correct? Now, if I plot vapor pressure versus temperature graph, what do I get is I get 3 graphs. Graph 1, graph 2, graph 3, right? Now, this is the graph having at a particular temperature, let us say, at a particular temperature, let me take a different color. Yes, you can say at a particular temperature, this vapor pressure is maximum, followed by this vapor pressure, followed by this vapor pressure. We know which vapor pressure is least, P3. So this represents P3, this represents P2, this represents P1. That means this represents P1 means this is molality of solution M1. This is molality of solution M2. This is molality of solution M3. Is this point clear to everyone? Yes, guys. Is this point clear? Is this point clear to everyone? How I have denoted M1, M2, M3 here? Yes. All right. Thank you. So now what I can do over here is, please pay attention. Now I'm again going to plot 1 atmosphere. So I'm going to plot my 1 atmosphere. Let us say this value over here is 1 atm. Right? So let us draw a perpendicular from this. Right? Correct? This is your 1 atm. Now what you can do here is, see carefully again. This is the temperature. Just a minute. Yes. This is the temperature at which vapor pressure of solution 1, molality 1 becomes equals to atmospheric pressure. So this is boiling point of solution 1, or let's say one of these, or let's draw solvent also, na? Let's draw one graph for solvent also. So solvent will lie somewhere here. So this is the graph for solvent. Let us draw the graph for solvent also. This is the solvent T naught B, right? So this is the boiling point of solvent, because at this temperature, vapor pressure of solvent becomes equals to 1 atm. Let us write this is solvent. This is solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, correct? Now, what I have done here is, now I'm plotting the perpendiculars. Here, I got 3 perpendiculars. Now what do I get here is, this is the boiling point, because at this temperature, molality, vapor pressure of second solution is 1 atm. So this is the definition of boiling point of solution 2. Similarly, this is boiling point of solution 3, correct? Now let us find delta TB. So what is my delta TB? Yes. So this is your solvent. This is your solution 1. So how much is the increase? This much. This is your delta TB of first solution, delta TB1. So what is delta TB1? Boiling point of solution 1 minus boiling point of solvent. Correct? This is your delta TB1, right? Bhumika beta, just check it again, right? Now second one. This is the boiling point of solvent. This is the boiling point of solution 2. The difference here is delta TB2, right? And this is delta TB3, right? And we also know that molality of 3 was greater than, from here, was greater than molality 2, greater than molality 1, correct? And from the graph, we know delta TB3 is more than delta TB2, then delta TB1. So I get it here that delta TB3 is greater than delta TB2, greater than delta TB1. So see here, delta TB3 is maximum because molality is maximum. So can I say delta TB is directly proportional to molality of solution? Can I say this? Yes, guys. Can I say delta TB is directly proportional to molality of solution? Can I say this or not? Yes. That's what I wanted to prove in this graph. That means if you increase molality of solution, you add more amount of non-volatile solute, the boiling point of solution will increase further. Keep adding more non-volatile solute, boiling point will keep on increasing further until it reaches heaven. Okay? So this is what I wanted to prove. I hope it is clear. You can take a screenshot because I'm going to change the slide. Take a screenshot. For screenshot, 3 seconds are enough. 1, 2, 3. So screenshot is taken. I'm assuming that. Right. So what I have written over there is that my delta TB is proportional to molality of solution. When I remove the molality of solution, I get a constant called Kb, which is called, I'll tell you that, into molality. This is your overall formula. This is your overall formula. Now, right, obviously Chandan beta, that is what we said. No, you added 2 solute here, you added 4 solute here, molality was M3, molality was M1, molality 3 was greater than molality 2, greater than molality 1. We have already answered that. Right? So what I said here was, now see carefully here, molality of solution. Cool. Yes, so delta TB, so what is Kb first of all? Let us define Kb also. Kb is called elevation in boiling point constant. Elevation in boiling point constant, right? Or it is also called exactly, we have to check the spelling of this, ebullioscopic constant, right? If you talk about its units, we need to expand the formula. Before that, I will define it. If molality of solution is 1, if you keep molality as 1, then delta TB is equals to Kb. That is, how do you define Kb? Kb is elevation in boiling point of solution whose molality is 1. This is the definition of Kb. So Kb is equal to elevation in boiling point if the molality of solution is 1. Now coming to its units, we need to expand our formula. Delta TB is equals to Kb. Molality of solution, all of us know. Weight of solute by molar mass of solute, that is number of moles of solute, into weight of solute solvent if it is in gram, multiply it by 1000. This is the formula of molality. Now you can find the unit of Kb Delta TB is a temperature difference. It will be in Kelvin, right? Molar mass will be in kilogram per mole, SI unit. Gram se gram will get cancelled. These two will be in gram, it will get cancelled. So unit of KB is Kelvin kilogram mole inverse, right? I'm writing one very important statement here, and that is, please pay attention. KB is characteristic. KB is characteristic property of solvent. What does this statement mean? What does this statement mean? This means KB is a constant for a solvent. If you change your solute, your KB will not change. KB is a property of solvent, not solute, not anything else. KB will change only if you change your solvent, right? Please put it in your head, store it in your terabytes, gigabytes, whatever you have. KB is property of solvent. Now, if it want to write its formula, it is R T naught B square, right? T naught B square into 1000 into latent heat of vaporization. This is the formula of KB. What is TB? Boiling point of solvent. R is gas constant. Latent heat of vaporization is what? It is heat required to convert 1 kilogram of liquid into vapor. Heat required to convert 1 kilogram of liquid into vapor, right? All right. So I hope this point is clear now. So this is your KB. Now see here, delta TB depend upon moles of solute. Since it depends upon moles of solute, therefore delta TB is a colligative property because it depends upon number of moles of solute or the particles of solute. Athar, there is nothing to understand in the formula. It's a formula, right? You have to just understand what are the terms. So R is a gas constant having a value of 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. I hope you know this value. There is no derivation for that formula. No? We are not deriving it. It's a standard formula, right? What is T naught B? If there was a derivation, I would have done it. Boiling point of solvent. What is LV? This we studied from class 10th, latent heat of vaporization. Latent heat of vaporization. What is latent heat of vaporization? It is heat required to convert 1 kilogram of liquid to vapor. I hope now it will be clear, Athar. I hope it will be clear now. Right? Kiran, I hope it is clear now. By the way, there is nothing new in this formula because T naught B, you know what it is. R, you know what it is. Latent heat of vaporization, you should know what it is. There is nothing new in this formula, na? Yes, Athar and Kiran, is it clear now? Athar and Kiran. Kiran, I did not understand what you write only. You have written something which only you can read. Right. So that is what we have done over here, guys. One more thing is KB formula here, which is written is in terms of enthalpy of vaporization. I have given you the formula in latent heat of vaporization. So I said for 1 kilogram or 1 gram, you can take anything. Both are fine. You can take 1 gram or 1 kilogram. Both are correct. So for 1 gram, for converting 1 gram, how much heat is required? Latent heat of vaporization. For m gram, that means molar mass. Molar mass means 1 mole. For 1 mole, how much is required? For 1 mole, how much will be required? Multiplied by m on both sides, L into V. Now, what is the heat required to convert 1 mole of liquid into vapor? So that is called enthalpy of vaporization. So this is equal to enthalpy of vaporization. So latent heat of vaporization is enthalpy of vaporization by molar mass. Substitute it here in the formula. You will get the formula right now is KB is R T naught B square by 1000 LV. substitute in this formula. So Kb will come out to be R T naught B square divided by 1000 into latent heat of vaporization will be enthalpy of vaporization divided by M. This will go up. You can write it directly here. Molar mass, but molar mass of what? Solvent. So you can see this is boiling point of solvent, molar mass of solvent. Therefore, Kb is a property of solvent, not solute, right? It is square. Yes, it is square, beta. This is square, no? I told you this is T naught B square. Is this formula clear, guys? This is in terms of latent heat of vaporization. This is in terms of enthalpy of vaporization, right? If you have any doubt in this formula, please ask. All right. So I think it is clear for many of you. Yes. Now this is the same derivation done over here. For water, you can remember the value of Kb is 0.52, right? Yes. So there is a question over here. You can attempt this question. Check out this question. Attempt this question. Check out this question. I'll read it out for you. A solution containing 12.5 of non-volatile, non-electrolyte substance. Okay? In 175 gram water, this is your W2, this is your W. Gave a boiling elevation. That means elevation is given. Not boiling point of solvent or boiling point of solution. Directly how much it is elevated. Directly delta TB is given. Calculate the molar mass of substance. You have to calculate M2. This is very easy. Direct formula substitution. Kb is also given. Athar beta, here I mentioned no, Kb for water is 0.52. I already mentioned here. There is no Kb you have to by heart. It will be given in exam. You can see here Kb of water is given here. You don't have to by heart any Kb value. It is possible. I have not compared the values, Chandan. We need to check it out. I have not compared any values yet. We need to check it out. We need to check it out. Now it's a direct formula substitution, guys. So please do it fast. You don't need much time for solving this. It's just a formula substitution for the question. So if you take more time for this, then it's of no use. These are the questions to be answered in 20 or 30 seconds. Yes, Avnish, Ankita, Monisha, correct. This is a boards formula. This is a formula based, this is a numerical based for boards, PU boards. You'll get it in PU board for sure. How many marks? You'll get it for 2 marks. This numerical. Sometimes 3 marks. Right. So guys, we are ending this question now. So if you have not voted so far, please vote fast. Because why I'm ending it fast? Because it's a direct formula substitution question. So it does not require too much calculation, nothing. Right. So we are going to end this question on a count of 3, 2, 1. Now we are ending this now. Right. So this is your formula, delta TB. Delta TB is equal to, just yeah, delta TB is equals to Kb into molalities W2 by M2 into W1 in gram into 1000. This is your formula of molality. So Kb is how much? Kb is 0.52 into what is your W2? 12.5 gram. What is your molar mass of solute? You have to find. What is your weight of solvent? 175 gram. What is your 1000 here as it is? Now delta TB, how much it is elevated? 0.70. Now this is easy. You have to directly bring your M2 here and simplify. You have to just do the calculation part. The answer here will come out to be 53.2 gram per mole. The correct answer is 53.2 gram per mole. I hope it is clear. Let us do one more. It is 53.06, approximately 53.2. Right. So this is another question. You can read it out for you. You can read it out. This is your next question. Please start reading fast. So here we see here 18 gram glucose. Glucose formula is given to you. Many of you don't even need it. Right? Your body produces a lot of glucose, it seems. Is dissolved in 1 kilogram water. Is dissolved in 1 kilogram water. So weight of solvent is given. Weight of solute is given. In a saucepan, at what temperature will water boil at this bar pressure? Now it is important. At what temperature water will boil, right? At what temperature water will boil? If this is the pressure, Kb is also given. Kb is also given. Remember, you have to find the boiling point of water. You have to find boiling point of water. I think I've already got some answers already. Yes, I think. Hey, Harshla, you have to be more precise, man. ठीक है, चलेगा for now. Right. So I hope it is clear, guys. So we can end it now on account of 3, 2, 1. We are ending this now. It's a direct question now again. So you have to find boiling point of water. That means your solvent. Water is your solvent. You have to find T naught B. So I'll write delta TB is equals to Kb into molality is what? W2 by M2 into W1 into 1000, right? Now Kb value is given to you 0.52 for water, Kb for water, into what is your W2? W2 is given as 18 gram glucose. You can find the from molecular formula, you can find molecular mass of glucose M2. I know it will come out to be 180 gram per mole. It is 180 M2. W1 is given 1 kg. So if you are writing 1 kg directly here, no need to multiply by 1000. If weight is in gram, then only multiply by 1000. So directly substitute 1 kg here. Do not multiply by 1000. Now delta TB is what? It is T naught B minus TB. You have to find T naught B. So your T naught B will be 0.52 into 18 by 180 into 1. This thing will come here and become plus TB. Now you know the value of, now at what temperature will water boil at this bar pressure? Okay. Okay. Got it. But there seems to be, okay, understood. There is one, understood. Basically, we need to take one temperature as 273 Kelvin, then we can find the other temperature, right? So we have taken the wrong formula also, by the way, here. This is TB minus T naught B, right? This is first mistake. Let me rewrite it. So we have to find boiling point of water at 10132. So one of the temperature here will be boiling point of water at 273 Kelvin or 1 atm pressure is water ka boiling point at that temperature is 273 Kelvin. minus TB. You have to find boiling point of solution actually. 0.52 into 18 by 180. This will give you the value of TB as 0.52 into 18 by 180 plus 273. I think if you simplify this, okay, not 273, it is 373. Just a minute, it is 373. Now I think you'll get your answer as 10, 373.052, something like this. You'll get 373 point something. Okay? Now I'll reiterate it because I have taken the wrong assumption initially. So what has been given is, you have been given at what temperature will this solution containing glucose will boil under this condition. Okay? Under this condition. Now see here, water at standard condition, at this condition, the boiling point of water is what? We already know 100 degrees Celsius. So water boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius, that is 373 Kelvin. So therefore T naught B is 373 Kelvin. Boiling point of solution containing glucose you have to find, that is TB. So TB comes out to be 373.052 approximately. Okay? I hope it is clear. I think we have 1 more minute, so we can solve 1 more question. Yeah, please go for this one. Please go for this one. Yeah, 1 more minute, you can solve this. I trust your speed. I have full faith in your speed. So kindly attempt this also. In the given time, try to solve this as well. Now, in the previous question, data was hidden again. The boiling point of benzene is this. Now, this is directly given. This is boiling point of benzene solvent. When 1.8 gram of non-volatile solute is added, W2, 90 gram benzene, W1, the boiling point of is raised to, boiling point is raised to final value. This is initial boiling point, final boiling point, T naught B, TB. Calculate molar mass of solute. Now it is a direct formula substitution, so you can solve it easily. Direct formula substitution, guys. You can solve it easily. Again, direct formula substitution, so you can solve it easily. So I'm going to end this in coming 30 seconds. I'm going to end this in coming 30 seconds because it's a direct formula substitution, so it does not take much time. It does not matter actually whether you take 18 gram. It is 1.8 gram. It is 1.8 gram, not 18 gram. It does not matter, Vijay, you can take in gram. All right, so we are going to end this question in the count of 3. So if you have not voted so far, please vote fast. So we are ending this on a count of 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, so what we have here is delta TB is equals to KB into same formula, W2 by M2 into W1 into 1000. Since weight is given in gram, KB is benzene ka it is given, sorry, benzene it is given is 2.53. W2 is given to be 1.8 gram. Weight, molar mass of solute you have to find. Weight of solvent is given to be 90 gram into 1000. So 2.53. Delta TB is T naught B minus TB minus T naught B. So what is TB? Boiling point of solution is 354.11 minus 353.23. From here you can find the value of M2. When you solve the M2 value here, your value of M2 will come out to be 58 gram per mole. 58 gram per mole, right? So the correct answer is 58 gram per mole approximately. And in the previous question, Vijay has asked some doubt. In this, Vijay, there is no 18 gram glucose is there. So that will be taken in gram only. Because this is in gram per mole. So this should be in gram. So weight of solvent, if it is in kg, you don't multiply by 1000 here. If weight of solvent is in gram, you multiply by 1000. Since weight of solvent is given in kg, so we don't have to multiply. It will get cancelled. Kg will get cancelled by the units of kb. Kb units have kg, so it will get cancelled by the units of kb. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you all for staying back and solving this. Tomorrow we'll discuss one or two more colligative property, right? So be prepared for tomorrow class, right? All right, so I have only one quiz today. I got only one quiz to discuss today. Yeah, this is a big one. So I am modifying the question for you. Which photograph or which person we are talking about? I'll come to the cartoon, beta. I'll take one advanced problem after this. After this, I'll take one advanced problem. I'll take one advanced problem after this. Right. I think some have already answered it. Naren has got it right. Ashish also. I think Naren has answered it first. अरे मेरे भाई समीर ऐसे कैसे? Right. See here. On the 72nd birth anniversary of the photographer Arthur Sase was trying to persuade him to smile for the camera. However, sick of having smiled for photographers all day, our man decided to do something completely different. What resulted is one of the most widely reproduced photographs in history, with the original being auctioned in 2009 for $74,324. Which photograph or which person are we talking about? So yes, many of you have got it correct. That's pretty cool. This photograph we are talking about. We are talking about this photograph of Einstein. It's a very famous photograph. Whenever you talk about Einstein, you get this picture in your mind, right? So this is the photograph we are talking about. So this, he was so frustrated by giving a lot of poses that he posed like this, and this picture became a memorial pic of Albert Einstein, right? This was a memorial pic about Albert Einstein. Yeah, that's pretty interesting fact. Okay, and you should observe, if somebody is showing you tongue, that tongue itself is being sold for $74,324. Just for showing tongue, he got that much. Not, he didn't get, the person who photographed it. All right. So I think I am done over here. I'll take one advanced problem and I'll end this. I have 2-3 problems, but I'll take one today. Right. So this is the wrong batch. Yeah. This is an easy one, guys. This is an easy one. If you can finish this early, we'll do 2. Cartoon, Aditya, M cartoon, I'll explain tomorrow, because tomorrow's class is connected to it. Yes, tomorrow's class is connected to it. So you can see this question, read this question carefully. Solvent is non-volatile or not? Beta, solvent is never non-volatile in these solutions. Your solute is non-volatile. Solvent is always volatile. Okay? Kishore, I'll explain the last problem again. Please wait until I finish this. At 323 Kelvin, this is from Raoult's law. At 323 Kelvin, vapor pressure in millimeters of mercury of methanol-ethanol solution is represented by this equation, where XA is the mole fraction of methanol. Then find the value of limit XA tends to 1, PA by XA. What is the correct answer? Right, you have to apply the limits and solve this. I hope all of you remember limits. This is an easy one, not tough. Should not take much time also. Should not take much time also. I think many of you have already answered it. That's pretty good. Yes, so guys, we'll end this. This is pretty easy question, but a different way of asking this question. It's a kind of application of mathematics in chemistry. So it's an easy one. That's the point here. Sometimes this is not a tough question, but it's a doable question, right? So let me end this question. Let me end this question on account of 3, 2, 1. So I am ending this question on account of 3, 2, 1 now, right? All right. So you see here, if you see carefully, your vapor pressure of the solution is represented by, sorry, just a minute. P is represented by 120 XA. Let me just once more verify the question, whether I have taken the right data. Just a second. I don't want to solve it and check it later. Yeah. Yes, guys. So see carefully. What we are doing over here is P is given by this plus 140. If I substitute the mole fraction limit XA tends to 1, if I substitute XA as 1, I get 121 plus 140. That gives you a value of how much? 260 mm. It gives you a value of 260 mm, right? So your answer here, over here, is 260 mm, right? I hope it is clear. It is 260 mm which you'll get your answer. Why? Because your limit XA tends to 1, your PA by XA will be equal to P total, or P. In short, it will be P. It will be P only. Okay? Why? Because XA tends to 1 means there is no B. XA tends to 1 means there is no B, right? You have only kind of A. So you can apply the Dalton's law of large partial pressure. PA will be equal to XA into P total. You can apply a kind of this. Okay? Right? I hope it is clear. PAs and P's. Beta, I have explained it shares over here. If your limit XA tends to 1, then your PA by XA will approach P total. That means the total pressure of the solution will be due to XA only. You can write by Dalton's law, PA is equals to XA into P total, or P, because there is no B. B is approximately 0. So you'll assume this behaves as an ideal solution of vapors. So you can apply this and get your answers. Okay? I hope it is clear. Right. Is this Raoult's law? It's Raoult's law only. From Raoult's law, you have calculated P total, and P total is nothing but PA by XA. Why here PA by XA has become equal to P total? Because we have applied Dalton's law after that. Why we have applied Dalton's law? Because your vapors are behaving ideally first. Second, your B amount is almost 0. So we can say our P total will be nothing but kind of partial pressure of A. Partial pressure of A into XA. We can say this by Dalton's law. Okay? I hope it is clear. So what's the time now? Okay, it's already 8:45. Right, we'll do few more questions tomorrow. So if we do 2-3 questions, it will become hectic for you. We'll do every day 1 or 2 questions. Tomorrow, so I think 3:45 class. All right. That's all for today. we can do one more, but it will make it 8:55 because that question is little lengthy. All right. So we'll do one more question tomorrow. No problem. I'll go to the previous slide, Kishore. Yes, guys, thank you for joining in. We'll do one more question tomorrow. I have the question, but I don't want to discuss it now because it will make us wait here for 8:50 because I don't want you to trouble much. You already have attended 4 classes. I don't want to trouble you much. You have already attended 4 classes today. What was our last question? Okay, this is TF wala slide. Good night, Chandan. Good night. Thank you, Shreyas. Good night, Pradeep. Thank you, Sanat. Yes, Kishore, please tell me what is your doubt. Kishore, please tell me what is your doubt. Yes, thank you, Gaurav. What beta? What you have not understood? You have not understood what is boiling point? I have not understand that. What is boiling point? You have not understood. If you have understood the previous question, this is 10 times easier question than previous question. This is 10 times easier question than previous year question. So I want you to understand, answer what you have not understood in this question. I'll go to that, Pratiksha. Give me 1 minute. When will we have MT7? MT7 will be around, it's June, right? Most end Athar, most likely June end. Stay back, Pratiksha. Just give me a minute. Kishore, please reply fast, beta. If you want, I'll unmute you. Kishore, reply fast. MT7. T0B TB. This is not T0B, beta. It is TB minus T0B. I have cut it. This is TB minus T0B. This is TB minus T0B. Elevation in boiling point. Is it clear? This is TB minus T0. Is it clear, Kishore? Priyadarshini, just hold on, beta. Let me clear his doubt first. That was your doubt, Kishore? I hope it is clear. That will be announced, Chandan. Yes. Thank you, Kishore. Yes, Shreya, I'll check that. I'll check that, Shreya. Now, Pratiksha and Priyadarshini, let me check your doubts. Pratiksha, are you there? Which graph you wanted? First graph show delta T. Pratiksha there, beta? Yes. So our first graph was, yes, this is our first graph. What is the doubt in this, Pratiksha? Yes, Pratiksha, what's your doubt in this?